copy.
Yep.
And again. So if I was to say how is your strike, you would probably say you don't strike it consistently either.
No.
Because you mentioned you don't hit it consistently, which instantly makes me think you hit it left and right, but maybe you're saying more that you don't strike it consistently.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so that's a massive contrasted strike to the first one, doesn't it? It's a very good strike, and then you have a couple of complete miss hits. Right, Andrew, so this is, you hit 6 shots that we captured on the monitor. This is why you're inconsistent.
Okay.
Because if you're not striking it on the same part on the face each time, then you're going to get very varied and different results each time. Yeah? So you mentioned when you walked in, you said, you know, each swing is very unique.
Yeah.
You could class it that way, but when people say that, I often think they feel that they're swinging one kind of massively out to in and one massively in to out, and one they might hit up at the ball loads and one they hit down. Your numbers of club delivery are probably, and I've not looked at them, but they're probably not jumping around that much. So your angle of attack, so that's if the club is hitting down or up.
Okay, so if it's like going like that.
Correct, down, towards up.
Yep.
Varies between 0 and 2 degrees, so it's a 2 degree tolerance, which is small.
Okay.
So that's not varying.
Alright.
The machine's capture will vary, subject, because you hit a couple where you whack the ground first.
Yeah.
Which then kind of, I think that would have been number 3, because it tricks the machine, because the machine triggers when the ball moves, and the ball moves when you whack the ground, and your club isn't really at impact at that point. So so you could almost remove that one as a miss hit. So your angle of attack isn't changing, particularly. Your club path is ranging from 0 to 2.5. Lots of 2.5s from the inside.
So what does that mean?
So if you stand on the mat, in to out 2 degrees. Which way do you think is in to out? So don't do it. Just do a little like tiny swing. Which direction is in to out? To the right or to the left?
Out that way.
Correct. Yeah, that's in to out.
Okay.
But 2 degrees. 2 degrees.
Is it?
It's minute.
Is it?
2 degrees is like 2 millimeters. Okay. So you're swinging pretty much at the target nearly every shot.
Okay.
So the chunk of metal.
Yeah.
Is swinging just 2 degrees right of where you're aiming. Really small. So that's good.
Okay.
You're not swinging 10 from out to in or 10 from in to out. You're not doing an extreme action. So you're delivering the club pretty sensibly in its angle of attack, averaging 1 down, averaging 1 from the inside, which is good. Now your face to path jumps, but your face to path jumps because your strikes jump so massively. Okay. And again, the machine doesn't get to always deliver consistent numbers, subject to how far away you hit from the middle, which you were hitting a long way from the middle. So really, you're delivering the face, I would, on average, maybe 1 open to 2 closed to the path.
Okay.
So if a face is 1 closed to a path, and you strike it well, you're going to get a little draw.
Okay.
And then if the next shot, the face happens to be 1 or 2 open to a path, you're going to get a fading shot.
Okay, so if my path is...
Just pretend your path is 0 for argument's sake.
Okay.
So what I don't want you to do at this stage is trying to work out how to fix these numbers. I'm going to do that with you. I just want you to understand delivery. So let's pretend your path is always at 0. Okay, so let's just pretend you always swing the chunk of metal along that blue line.
And it's
1 shot, the face is slightly left of that blue line. And the ball will start left. And then it will draw. Because the face is 1 close to the blue line. And then on the next shot, the face is delivered 1 to the right of the blue line. So the face is open to the path. So what happens is the ball will start right and it will fade. Then you throw into the mix your inconsistency of strike, which will make the ball go anywhere. Subject to where you hit it on that face. If you buttoned every one of these out the middle, you would have been inconsistent, but you would have been much tighter than you were, and you wouldn't got short to long dispersion like you got. So you swing the club very well.
Really? Yeah.
Much better than you think. So you're not. Lots of people are thinking, how am I not swinging this club at the target? You are.
Okay.
You're not striking it very well.
Okay.
And the big number that you really struggle with, and this is so common, is the lie of the club is just crazy for you. It's so wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the club's makeup.
Yeah.
Your dynamic delivery.
Okay.
So you're delivering on this shot, for instance, 8.9 toe degrees down.
Okay.
So if you just set up to an imaginary ball anywhere there, how would you toe down? So your hands are coming very high.
Okay. I mean, one problem I think I've always had, and I don't know whether it's true or
Go
not.
on, yeah.
I just feel like maybe I'm coming up, lifting my head, keeping my head down has always been one focus.
Okay.
I've been trying to, keep your head down, keep your head down, And if I do top a shot, I just put it down, turn it off.
Yeah, it's a
trying
common.
to hit it too hard.
Yeah. What happens if you don't deliver lie very well, which you're struggling with delivering lie, so you're averaging 7 toe down.
Yeah.
Where's my club head? Here. So your club is being delivered toe-ended down.
Yep.
That affects where the face the path points.
Sure.
So lie is one of the things that affects if the face is open or closed to a path, even if the leading edge is at a right angle to that blue line down there. If you toe it down, it points the loft right as a general rule, and toe up points it left. You're going to have very little control of face to path delivery
with a lie like that.
With a lie like that, because it's part of the three-dimensional club face, but you're only looking at it in 2 dimensions. You're trying to get the face to get back to 0 in your mind. Well, it could get back to 0 from this line, but not if it's toed down.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the one that blows people's heads off. You have never practiced presenting proper lie, so you've never practiced getting better.
No.
Because you're there's a part of delivery that you're not even aware is a factor.
Okay.
So as I'm practicing serves, and I hit aces every time. Trouble is they never go in the box. The guy can't return them. He doesn't hit them.
Yeah.
So it's an ace in my head.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you've got him in that box. I'm not hitting him over his head. You can't reach that one. It's going into the golf course beyond the tennis court. So I'm thinking that's an ace. Yeah. No, that's bad. Yeah. You're not practicing tennis. Not practicing serving. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah.
So we need you to get you to understand. So you understand club path like 99% of the people who watch videos and the rest of it.
Okay.
You kind of understand face to path, and you certainly understand face.
Yep.
And you understood angle of attack.
Yep.
Dynamic lie is something you're not even putting in the equation, and it affects so many of these numbers in their delivery.
No. So I assumed that the club.
Everyone does.
Built that into the club, whether it's adjusted 3 degrees up, right,
so
down, or whatever.
Correct.
That would be taken care of. It's not.
The player overrides it all the time because it's one of the factors that encourages a face to line up with a path. Players will use it even though they don't know it exists.
Okay.
They'll kind of use it to try and find targets.
Okay.
The other thing as well to think about your striking. What does it do to the effective sweet spot if you toe end the club down? What does it do in relationship to the sweet spot to the ground? Yeah. So what happens when the ball's below and above your feet? I mean, when people play off, see what I mean? This is a controlled, sterile environment.
If it's in a divot or
100 million different permutations that you could have that ball in rough. So when the ball is below your feet, you know that maybe the ball's going to move differently. You understand that it's harder to hit it straight.
Yep.
One of the reasons is because the lie's being manipulated. So you're now not able to use the club in the way the manufacturer's designed it to be used.
Yeah.
But you're doing that off static lies.
Yeah.
And you don't know it, so then we go and put you on a slope, one that doesn't help you, and you're just going to have no chance.
Yeah.
So we need to get lie fixed and then see what happens to these numbers.
Okay.
And see if we can improve strike. Here's an interesting one. And again, I don't want you to try and fix this. I just want you to try and get your head around this, because this is a bit of information we might use or we might not use, subject to how I can explain it and what sense it makes to you. This is your left foot. This is your right foot. You're on my Boditrack map.
Okay.
There, okay.
Yeah.
This little dot is called your centre of pressure. Okay. So basically, the mat is measuring how hard you're pushing down on it with your left foot and right foot, and then it's delivering a centre point of how you're pushing on that mat.
Yep.
Lots of people would call it weight. It's not weight, that's a different thing, but you can think of it as weight for today.
Yep, no, I get what you're saying.
But its centre of pressure is actually what it is. When you make your backswing, you move your pressure, so there's your backswing, onto your back foot, 85% to 15.
Yep.
I would be 70, 30, 60, 40. So I'd be moving less pressure off my left foot.
Okay.
So I would have both of my feet more connected with the ground.
Okay.
It's not right or wrong, it's just for someone who strikes not that well, to move the pressure quite a lot is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Okay.
Okay. Now look what happens when you come into impact. Impact is this little faint line here. See the little faint line on the graph there?
Yeah.
When you hit the ball, you're 74% right foot pushing down 26 left.
Okay.
So you're pushing down harder with your right foot than your left.
Okay.
But the biggest thing is look how far forward the pressure is and where it started.
Okay.
So it's 100% on both of your toes, it's none of it's on your heels.
Interesting.
So you are moving up on your toes because you want to deliver the handle 8 degrees higher up than it started, or you want to deliver the toe 8 degrees down than where it started.
So I'm going up my
well,
toes.
it's chicken and egg. It doesn't matter which one it is. It's another piece of information that I can use to try and make you stop it. I might use it, I might not.
Okay.
So do you get on your toes so you can deliver that handle, or does getting on your toes make you deliver that handle? There's no answer to that question.
Okay.
We've got to play and work and just fix the change of the delivery of the line.
Okay.
But so a nice pressure trace would be much more of a straight line.
Okay.
And even maybe coming back into the left heel.
Back into the left heel, hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. I mean,
think about, just quickly with this one.
Yeah.
Think about this. If I put you on a boat, a little like dinghy, and it's rocking.
Yeah.
That pressure's just going to be moving all over the place.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why hitting that ball off that dinghy would be near on impossible. Like if I wanted to do a good joke video, get me and Lockie and the rest of us on a dinghy and try and hit a shot, we would all wait until it settles before we hit.
Yeah.
So we would kind of wait for that pressure. Your pressure as you hit the ball is up on your toes as you swing at 81 miles an hour.
Okay.
That's quite hard to balance, quite hard to control a moving centre of a centre of gravity of that club. You've got to line up the centre of gravity of that club with that ball at 81 miles an hour, while on a dinghy that's rocking. Basically, it's rocking backwards, so you rock forwards. So you're countering it, but you're doing that on the flat.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very obvious why you don't strike it. I wouldn't strike it if I did what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So like you said at the start, it's not hard to work out why you do what you do.
Yeah.
The trick now is us trying to fix what you do. Working it out takes seconds because we measure it.
I've borrowed one of those from school's got. I'll borrow that. I took it to the drone, I set it up, and watching myself, I have seen myself as I strike the ball.
Yeah, you're right up.
I come up on my toes. I've seen it.
But think about this. If I can give you a thought that makes you deliver the handle down at 0, or the lie, down at 0, that might go.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of measuring.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which bit of information I pull from, it's that we just get it all in the right place. You know, some people respond really well to this, some don't at all. Some respond to thoughts I do about just trying to understand how to deliver the handle, and then that falls into place. That is forward because you want to deliver toe down. The reason you want to deliver toe down is nothing to do with anything apart from how you've worked out. Yeah. You teach kids, they work it out, and you teach them sports. Some work out how to hit a tennis ball one way, and some work out how to hit it another way. And sometimes they're equal abilities, doing all slices rather than top swings or whatever. And then there's some who are just not so good, and you think, well, you know, it's how you've worked out how to do it. Yeah. We've just got to kind of rework it.
Alrighty.
Should we have a go?
Yeah, please.
So I'm going to call this one a round. Okay, so the first sentence I'm going to use to try and move any of the data in your delivery is the word around. So we want to get rid of, you mentioned the word square just a minute ago. So I want this club kind of back here. I want you to feel like it's coming like around you.
Okay, alright.
Show me, no ball, show me what that means to you. So yeah, go on, show me, around.
So, around.
As you can go, like silly low. Yeah, go on, back and through. Good, and again, not quite as round as that.
Not as round.
Yeah, but the same idea. Yeah, a fraction more around than that, but that's so close.
So a fraction.
How around does that feel to you? Like silly?
Yeah. It feels like I'm, you know.
Yeah.
What's it? I can't think of the movement.
Like just a joke swing almost, doesn't it? It feels like you're mucking about a bit. Yeah. Go on, around. Yeah, go on with the ball. This is a 2-hour lesson, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
You might be done in a minute. That practice one was really good. Let's do that. See if you can.
They're just trying to replicate the same movement.
Yeah, go for it. You're a fraction close. Go on, give yourself a bit of space. Move your legs back a bit more. That's it. And then swing around. Go on again. Same thing. Just commit to it. Nice hard swing around your body. Give it a whack. Good. And again, same thing. Exactly the same. And again, same thing. So you're swinging over that, so try and feel like you're just pushing down a little bit to that ball, just try and react to the fact that you've come over the top of that, still come around. Yeah, good. Really good. Okay, let me show you this. So, we changed the numbers massively. Lie is now 0.
Interesting.
That wasn't hard, was it?
Okay.
But, in changing this number, your interpretation of the word around is not how I would interpret it as around.
Okay.
So it is, I would have also interpreted it as around from this box.
Okay.
So I would have also changed the lie if someone said to me swing around, like you have.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have changed this box so dramatically.
So what have we got going on there?
8 from the inside.
So 8 from the inside that way there.
So swinging to the right now.
Okay.
So you stop swinging at the target to change the lie.
Okay.
Because your idea of around is, like most, including lots of teachers unfortunately, your idea of around is going to change club path.
Yep.
So if I say swing around, you probably feel like you might hit more from the inside. If I was to say swing up, you might feel like you swing more from the outside.
Yep. Okay, that would make sense.
Let's look at this hoop. Let's pretend the pencil is path. So let's say it's 0. Okay. If I swing up, so 90 degrees up, square as you called it almost when you walked in, that pencil's still at 0, isn't it?
Yep.
And if I swing around, so what's lower, I'm not changing path. So what you did is you did swing around, but you also then tilted everything that way. Okay. Now look what happens to the angle of attack. You're now hitting a long way up. You were coming over the top of them. So we need to challenge your idea of around in the three-dimensional world rather than in that 2D camera flat. If they swing around, they hit from the inside. Which is why I hate the word plane.
Yeah. What?
Swing plane.
And all
They're
stuff.
swing angles.
Yeah.
This is as close as you get to measuring swing plane because the sweet spot is delivered at a plane. Yep. So dynamic lie. But that hoop, as I've just shown you, can be 90 degrees upright and it could be 90 degrees flat on the floor and the path stays at 0. And people would call those swings off plane. Well, the path's at 0. If the club lie was set correctly, that would hit the ball straight.
Yep. Okay, I get that.
So we need to challenge your idea of club path while swinging around to deliver this 0 lie. Okay. So even though you missed a couple and you got them right out the bottom because we changed your path and your angle of attack changed, I could see a lot of these coming much more from the middle when we get the other bits out there, like the two were. You weren't getting the massive toes and heels when you delivered the club more how the manufacturer wanted it to be delivered. Yeah. Okay, and again. So on the follow through, keep your hands on. I want you to feel like you're coming more around as well.
Around and then follow through as well.
Think about the hoop. What's the hoop doing? The hoop's going equal both sides, isn't it? Yeah. So if your hoop is now not so upright, it's more you're laying it down. Yeah. It's going round equal on the way back as it is on the way through. So we don't want the hoop going that way. Good. But yeah, you've got the idea. Very good. And again. Strikes are still mixed because you're having to work very hard to get these feelings to feel anything. We're down to 3.9 with a live from 8. We did have it at 0, but you're back to round 4. That's half, which I'm quite happy with.
Okay.
I reckon we can get it lower. Par 33 from the inside, so we've kind of rescued par a little bit.
Back to what it was.
Yeah, which where it was quite nice. Yeah,
okay.
1s and 2s.
Okay.
Look at your pressure trace now.
So where's that at?
This is at address. Backswing, which we've not worked on yet, it's about the same. Impact now, which is there, considerably less forward than where it was. Do you remember the trace before? It was kind of up here somewhere. So you've now got 59% of pressure on your left heel.
Okay.
So your pressure trace is changing as you try to deliver the club differently.
Okay.
Which is very obvious because the only thing you can use to put forces on that club, really, any kind of serious forces, is the ground.
Yeah.
So you start pushing on the ground differently, which is why for me it's so important I measure how you push on the ground.
Yeah.
Because it's just another part of information I can use to control you and delivery.
Yeah.
These are invisible forces. You cannot see these.
Yeah.
So people will say, oh, it looks like you're doing X, Y, and Z. You can't see them. Yeah. They're invisible, which is why I measure them. So it's interesting, your pressure trace is getting better because we're going at the moment, I'm trying to just get you to manipulate delivery.
Yeah.
We've not even talked about how to manipulate pushing on the ground, which we might do at the end to fine tune, subject to how you get on with the bigger club and the rest of it.
Yep.
It's good.
Alright, okay.
Let's get in there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more videos. Find me on Instagram at Crossfield Mark. Also on Twitter at 4golfonline. Find me on Facebook, Mark Crossfield. Thanks for watching. Post comments as always and see you soon.